And we're asking for everything to do with military, civilian, and financial aid. We want it all. If they refuse to be transparent, then I'll be pushing this to the floor for a vote. And then if Congress votes this down, guess what the message will be to the American people? It will be, you don't get to find out what's happening with your money. They'll be telling the American people no.
Red wave, more like red trickle. Republicans narrowly win the House with a razor-thin majority as the Senate stays split. But with the Republicans' newfound power in the House, they have started to launch a number of investigations, and we're going to talk about it. I'm your host, Hyde. This is Hide and Seek Media. Hello, all you beautiful and amazing people. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. The show is brought to you by the Hide and Seek Media Store. If you're like me and you like to spark a conversation or just make a statement without having to say too much at all, then click the merch link down below and check out all the cool merch we have to offer. And if you use code 1776, I'll give you 20% off your entire order. So, as we saw the results of the midterms come through, the red wave turned out to be just a red trickle. The Republicans didn't win nearly as big as they thought they were going to, but they did win a majority in the House. And so with that majority, we've already seen a number of investigations being launched or being told that they're going to be launched at the start of the new Congress. And so with that, I had some questions. Are we going to see legitimate investigations? Are these just going to be blue ribbon committees that actually don't do anything, that just make it look like they're doing stuff because they think that's going to be enough to appease the American people now? Are we going to see criminal charges and convictions for any wrongdoing found in these investigations? And how are these investigations going to affect the 2024 presidential cycle? I hope to answer some, if not all, of these questions throughout this video. But I did find some news articles that we're going to talk about, and I'm just going to kind of break down what I think is really going to happen from this newfound power that the Republicans have in the House. So let's check out this first news story I found from NBC News. It says, House Republicans plan investigations and possible impeachments with new majority. The House GOP's small majority aims to cause plenty of big headaches for the Biden administration with probes into Hunter Biden, the border, and the DOJ ahead of 2024. Now, let's just pause right there for a second, because the Hunter Biden investigation should have happened in 2020 when news of Hunter Biden's laptop first broke and was then censored by Twitter and Facebook. The DOJ should be investigated because they didn't do anything about Hunter's laptop when they got it. And the border, well, that speaks for itself, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back to their article. They go on to say, House Republicans' majority will be smaller than expected, but they're eager to use their new oversight powers and pass a spat of bills to draw contrast with Democrats and give the Biden administration heartburn. In this moment of divided government and fierce partisanship, it's perhaps appropriate that the GOP conference is expected to be led by Reps. Kevin McCarthy of California and Steve Scalise of Louisiana, veteran lawmakers known more for their skills in political combat than for their policy acumen. Although House Republicans will face a Democratic White House and Senate aimed at blocking their legislative aims, McCarthy, who is working feverishly to cement his ascension to Speaker despite growing dissent in his ranks, has already made it clear the party plans to launch investigations into the Biden administration and at least one of the president's family members. But McCarthy and other leaders will have their hands full as they try to keep their wafer-thin majority united and corral conservative bomb throwers who are clamoring to shut down the government and impeach Joe Biden and his top allies. All right, so here is where the roads start to diverge a little, right? Because that statement is meant to divide the Republican Party. And while there is some division in the Republican Party, I think they're all on board with these investigations. Well, majority of them. People like Kissinger and Liz Cheney, who aren't really Republicans anymore, they're probably not on board with these investigations. But outside of them, I would say 209, 210 of the 218 Republicans in the House are all on board with every one of these investigations because the American people demand it. It's not just that the Republicans demand it. It's the American people. We demand answers into what happened to the border and why we are getting record numbers of drugs and illegals coming across the border every single day. We demand answers into why nothing was done about the Hunter Biden laptop when they first got it. We demand answers as to why the DOJ signed off on warrants to raid Mar-a-Lago. The people demand those answers, not just Republicans. And so my question more is along the lines of how far are they going to take these investigations? Right? And is the Judiciary Committee going to recommend criminal charges and criminal action against anyone found to be criminally liable in these investigations? And then will the DOJ take up those recommendations? Those are all questions that I have doubts to any positive answer. But we can hope and pray, right? So they go on to say, here's what the new 118th Congress will look like under House GOP rule. Investigations. Investigations will dominate the new Congress, from the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic and allegations of politicization in the Justice Department to America's botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. But none will attract as much attention as the GOP's planned investigation into the business dealings of the president's son, Hunter, 2 years before a potential Biden re-election bid. Rep. James Comer from Kentucky, the incoming Oversight Committee chairman, has said an investigation into Hunter Biden and other Biden family members and associates will be a priority as Republicans try to determine whether the family's business activities compromise U.S. national security and President Biden's ability to lead with impartiality. Republicans allege that Hunter Biden has used his father's successful political career to enrich himself. He joined the board of a Ukrainian natural gas company in 2019, and an investment firm he co-founded helped a Chinese firm buy a Colonies cobalt mine from a U.S. company in 2016, among other financial endeavors. And I probably butchered that name, Congolese, right? I think that's how you say that. I probably butchered the crap out of that. But anyways, through the emails that have been leaked from the laptop and everything else that's been out there already, we know that there are some shady dealings going on between the president and his son, right? They're going to find evidence. There's going to be no doubt about that at some point. Shared bank accounts and other, because that's been reported by the Daily Mail. So they're definitely going to find some kind of evidence of money being transferred back and forth between the two in some kind of illegal capacity. So wire transfer fraud or some kind of, white collar crime is about to, be uncovered. The question still remains, are they going to do anything about it, right? And I believe that is a serious investigation that needs to happen. I truly do. But I'm more concerned with the COVID pandemic. I'm more concerned with Afghanistan than I am about Biden making some shady backroom deals and, pocketing some money. All of the politicians do it, right? There ain't one politician out there that don't make some kind of backroom deal, some way, somehow, some shape or form that enriches them in some way, right? That's just what they do. That's what politicians do, right? And we as a country have been allowing it to go on for decades now. So anybody who gets their panties in a twist over this now is, basically just playing it up for the cameras, if you will. Because there's no legitimate anger in that argument anymore because we've allowed it for so long. How can you legitimately say that still pisses you off and that these people should be charged and thrown in jail for it when we've allowed it to go on for decades and done nothing about it? I mean, Hillary Clinton got away with destroying classified information. But we can see now that doesn't go both ways, right? When there was evidence to charge Hillary Clinton, the DOJ and the FBI decided, nah, we don't think there's enough there to warrant a case. But President Trump makes a phone call and says, hey, I heard this on this video, and I don't know, it sounds kind of funky. You might want to check out what Joe Biden said on this video and see if there's any truth to it, because he's not allowed to do that. We impeached a man over a phone call, but that's because one side gets away with saying the other side is doing what they're doing. The whole confession by projection thing, right? It's the Democrats saying the Republicans are doing this when it's really the Democrats doing it, or that how dare they do this when they just did it 4 years ago, right? 3 years ago. So the hypocrisy is really the telltale sign of when somebody's afraid the truth is going to be exposed, is when they start calling you out for doing the exact same things they do. Like, how dare you do this, when they're turning around and doing it every day. But one of the investigations that is being launched outside of the ones being listed here was Marjorie Taylor Greene's investigation into Ukraine and all the money being sent to Ukraine, right? And where that money ended up. So I have this story here from timcast.com. Marjorie Taylor Greene introduces resolution to audit funds sent to Ukraine. Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene has introduced a resolution to audit aid money sent to Ukraine. The resolution has been co-sponsored by Reps. Matt Gaetz, Barry Moore, Andrew Clyde, and Thomas Massie. I would like to announce that I've introduced a privileged wow, damn, couldn't say that. Let me try it again. I would like to announce that I have introduced a privileged resolution, and what this will do is it will hold our government accountable for all of the funding for Ukraine. Hear, hear, Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is why the people of Georgia elected you, and this is why you are one of my favorite congresswomen ever. You are there holding people accountable. And that is one of the major things that is missing from our government, is holding our our politicians accountable. And I love that you are doing that every single day that you are there. And this is just another reason why we need more people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz in Congress and in the Senate.
Thank you for joining all of us today. I would like to announce that I've introduced a privileged resolution, and what this will do is it will hold our government accountable for all of the funding for Ukraine. So I want to talk about that a little bit at the end, but let me explain the situation we have here. Congress has appropriated $54 billion to aid in the Ukrainian conflict. And then our president, Joe Biden, has requested another $38 billion this week. The American people, the taxpayers of this country, deserve to know where their money is going and how it's being spent. So what this resolution will do, let me explain it. It's a privilege resolution, so I entered it in today. Now, they have 14 days to decide what they're going to do with it. Those are days we're in session. And then, if they make no decision, I can force this resolution to the House floor for a vote. And guess what Congress gets to decide? If the committees say they want nothing to do with it and refuse to tell the American taxpayers and the people of this country that they will not show transparency and provide all of the information that I'm demanding and my colleagues here are demanding, and we're asking for everything to do with military, civilian, and financial aid. We want it all. If they refuse to be transparent, then I'll be pushing this to the floor for a vote. And then if Congress votes this down, guess what the message will be to the American people? It will be, you don't get to find out what's happening with your money. They'll be telling the American people no. And I think that is a very bad message to tell the American people.
I'm here as a member of the House Armed Services Committee to say that the days of endless cash and military materiel to Ukraine are numbered. They're numbered in the days that are required to act on Congresswoman Greene's well-thought-out resolution of inquiry, and they are numbered when we get into the majority. I will not vote for one more dollar to Ukraine. I will not vote for one more piece of materiel to Ukraine. We are far too entangled in this conflict. I believe we have extended this conflict. And I call on the Secretary of Defense to declassify the Inspector General report on the compliance with our existing regulations regarding chain of custody with materiel going to another country. There is a report now. You all can't read it. The American people can't read it. But I wish the American people could see the extent to which our laws have been violated, our regulations have been ignored when it comes to the end-to-end chain of custody that we are supposed to have for this equipment.
Now, yes, this is what we need. These are the kinds of things that we need in the government. We need total 100% transparency and accountability. And people like Marjorie Taylor Greene are going to bring it. But there are those that want to hide all of that and are going to do everything in their power to stop it. I found this article from the Daily Wire. Biden allied group pledges to investigate Republicans probing president's ties to family's foreign business deals. In other words, they're investigating the investigators. Democratic operatives are reviving a partisan watchdog group to investigate the investigators and hound House Republicans who are preparing congressional investigations into the Biden administration. The Congressional Integrity Project. Let me try that again. The Congressional Integrity Project, CIP, announced Wednesday that it is planning a multi-million-dollar effort to investigate House Republicans and expose the reality behind the politically motivated oversight and investigations targeting President Biden. The initiative was first reported by Politico. The Congressional Integrity Project will investigate the investigators, expose their political motivations and the moneyed special interests supporting their work, and hold them accountable for ignoring the urgent priorities of all the Americans in order to smear Joe Biden and do the political bidding of Trump and the MAGA Republicans. Now, if that ain't the most beautiful piece of hypocrisy I have ever heard. For 4 years, all we saw was wasted time in the government with impeachments and investigations into Trump and Trump allies. calling them Russian spies and whatever bull crap you could come up with. For 4 years, we heard that crap. And then you did it for another year and a half with this stupid January 6th committee. Another waste of time and taxpayer money. But the investigations that we want, oh, those are the waste of time. Because those are the ones that aren't for show. Those are the ones that are probably going to expose the truth behind what you guys are really doing. And you don't want that. So the Daily Wire goes on to report Republicans will retake the House with a slim majority next year, gaining control of committees and the direction of investigations. Rep. Jim Comer, expected to be the next chairman of the House Oversight Committee, said Thursday that he plans to probe Biden's ties to foreign business deals orchestrated by his son, Hunter. This is an investigation of Joe Biden, the President of the United States, and why he lied to the American people about his knowledge and participation in his family's international business schemes, Comer said in a press conference, adding that the potential misconduct is an issue of national security. CIP is prepared to be the Democratic Party's answer to Comer's investigation and others from GOP lawmakers in the coming weeks and months and will produce opposition research on Republicans, according to Politico. CIP will be led and advised by operatives with deep ties to the Democratic administrations of Biden and former President Barack Obama. Leslie Dock, or Dash, however you say that name, will serve on the group's leadership team. He previously working in the Obama administration and advised the Biden administration on its COVID-19 response. Jeff Peck, an advisor for CIP, has worked for Biden for years, including when the president was in the U.S. Senate. CIP will be supported and work in conjunction with other Democratic-directed groups, including Facts First USA, a project of the Democratic consultant Dave Brock, according to the New York Times. The GOP has been reportedly working with its own friendly outside groups in prepping investigations into the Biden administration. We're an outside independent group. Brock told New York Times. We hope that lots of people will be joining the fight against Republican disinformation and conspiracy mongering, including the White House and all allied groups. And see, there we go again with the confession by projection. Oh, no, we did this all through 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. And yet, now that you're doing it, oh, it's a bunch of conspiracy mongering. You guys are just throwing out all this disinformation, and it's like these people must be ignorant, or they must believe that the American people are ignorant. But what they don't realize is that we've woken up. A lot of us have woken up. And those of us who are willing to speak up loud enough do things like this. Put videos out on the internet for people like you to watch. And if you like what you've seen so far, make sure to smash that like button. It really does help the channel. But in the end, are we going to see fruit from this tree? Are these investigations going to produce viable results that the America First movement will accept? Now, me personally, anything less than criminal charges is worthless. It has to be criminal charges. They're trying to do it to a former president right now. And if they're going to play that game, we're going to play that game. But we're going to play that game by the rules. We're going to do the investigation properly. We're going to find the truth. We're going to find the evidence, and we're going to present it to the American people. That's the way it should be done. Hopefully, people like Jim Jordan and Rand Paul and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, right? These America First congressmen and women, they need to make sure that the truth is exposed. The American people can take it. But if it doesn't, we always have 2024 and Donald Trump. In the end, what most of us want from these investigations is accountability. Just hold these people accountable for their actions. I think that would be satisfactory enough. And by accountability, we mean to the letter of the law. They broke the law, they get charged. Simple. Now, you can work out some kind of plea deal, whatever you want to do, but I want to see charges. I want to see criminal charges, convictions. But I'm going to leave it there. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, I appreciate you guys watching. It really does mean a lot. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. Smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video, the channel, and the topic. I love to engage with my viewers, so feel free to fire away. But if you really like the channel and you want to help, the best way you can do that is by hitting that share button and sharing this video on all social media platforms. Those interactions will show YouTube's algorithm that my channel needs more impressions, and that's how we're going to grow. I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I will catch you later. Peace.